October 12th.
I'm meteorologist Reynolds Wolf, and we've got a heck of a weather story to share with you. What I want you to get focused on is what's happening in parts of the desert southwest and into southern and central California. We have this area of low pressure that's been sitting over this area, bringing some heavy rainfall to places like Los Angeles, also into portions of the Great Basin, even into Las Vegas. You had some heavy rainfall during the morning hours. So what we are going to do is follow this area of low pressure and know what's going to happen will be this is a great deal of advection coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. A lot of warm, moist air. You see the temperatures expected today into the 80s. But as we fast forward into tomorrow, that area of low pressure is going to pull its way back into parts of the Central Plains. You know that moist air we were talking about? The stuff coming in from the south? Well, it's going to hook up not only with that area of low pressure, not only with this frontal boundary, but we also have the jet stream that's going to be in play. And with that, we have a chance of a severe weather outbreak. We're talking about the possibility.
All right, so the jet stream is now active. And do you remember how this right down the middle has always been the hottest area? Above Texas, it has always been the hottest after I started the September rain pipes. But before September, the central column was always hotter than everywhere else. And now look what's going on. Those are just observations.
Of strong thunderstorms, large hail, damaging winds, perhaps even some tornadoes from parts of Iowa back into...
Okay, tornadoes and hail is a rapid rebalancing of the weather system.
Missouri, even into Kansas and Oklahoma, perhaps even North Texas before all is said and done. Could get very rough, especially as we get our way into tomorrow night, and then as we fast forward into Sunday. Now, as we get our way into Sunday, what you can expect is a lot of that warm air to continue to march its way across parts of the southern plains, and as that occurs, as that takes place, you're going to see a lot of cold air happen, or at least pulling right behind it, drier air for spots like Denver and into Billings. And notice that low continues to march up into portions of the Great Lakes, bringing the heavy rainfall with it. So yeah, you could have some thunderstorms moving in spots like Chicago, back into Louisville, even into Kansas City. But then the situation gets better for Kansas City because you've got that cold air advection coming in behind that low, high pressure forming off towards the west. So it has almost like a flywheel effect, drawing in that cooler air and stable air from parts of the northwest. And speaking of the northwest, for Monday, the rain is back. I know you've had a dry time for you up in Seattle, but the rain is back in full force. Kind of a break in the nation's midsection after this weekend. They may need it, but notice the rain now moving towards the eastern seaboard. For Tuesday, high pressure builds into the northeast, so you get a little bit of a respite. Here comes that frontal boundary, almost like a classic clipper system as we get into Tuesday. For Minneapolis, the rain is back, and then by Wednesday, there's that area of low pressure, the trailing cold front, bringing more rain back into the Ohio Valley, into the central Great Lakes. And Tuesday, blammo, there it goes, back again. The rain coming through along parts of the southeast, into the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and into the UP of Michigan. And Pacific Northwest, the rain's going to stay. High pressure building into portions of the Great Lakes. But again, number one thing to remember will be the chance of severe weather for the Central Plains and the Midwest late night, tonight, into Saturday, and perhaps even early Sunday.
All right, folks, if this is just my observation, okay? Before September, there was not a lot of weather fluctuations in Northern America. September is when I implemented my rain pipes and poor man's Cloudbuster. My perspective on the difference between using galvanized steel pipes versus copper pipes for connecting to the earth through water, especially through natural springs. Copper is a stronger conductive, so it's like an infusion of whateverness that happens. But steel galvanized pipes, it's like a trickle charge, a trickle saturation of goodness, and it spreads across the entire continent as opposed to the copper infusing one area. I don't know if any of this is real, but come on. Look at the drastic weather changes we've had since after September. Please play with the rain pipes. This is Orgonite Austin. I love you.